Hey gang, welcome to another edition of Doc Schlock, where it's a review of the movie Dead on Appraisal. This one is about a guy named John who's trying to sell a house that has some pretty bad stories behind it. So who else to tell the stories of what happens in this particular house than John, the real estate agent? The first story is about a bunch of partiers who move into the place, and there's some sort of a weird bug invasion happening inside of the place. Long story short, pretty much nobody survives that one. The second story is about a soldier who comes home to live with his dad, and his dad starts noticing his son is acting kind of strange because he was coming home after a war. And the dad starts thinking that his son's going to do something like possibly kill him, kill himself, or the both of them, in which, of course, the son winds up having some sort of an explosive device inside of a wound that he has on him. His dad discovers it, and they both blow up and die. The third story is about a lead singer of a death metal band named Freddie, who moves into the place, and they're trying to put together this really ultimate awesome death metal rock album. So one night while playing poker, each one of the bandmates, except of course Freddie, goes away from the poker table, but who returns back? Some sort of weird looking monsters. Freddie doesn't know if it's real, if it's all in his head, or what's going on, so he winds up killing the monsters. But of course they wind up putting on some sort of performance for another monster in the house. Freddie winds up calling 911 after seeing what he was seeing. Then he snaps out of it, realizes he killed his bandmates. The cops show up. Freddie reaches for a gun. They blast him. Freddie's dead. The final nightmare. Actually, the final story in this anthology. Last but not least, John and his girlfriend decide to try and have an open house for the place. But as you would guess, everything goes wrong. Some sort of a monster pops out, rips John's head off, kills about everybody in the house, and steps into some sort of weird portal and takes off with John's head in tow. So why did this movie suck? I will say this much. The first story was idiotic, badly done, and full of really annoying characters. But the second story, I have to say, in all honesty, was probably the best one. Maybe not greatly acted, but it took itself very seriously, and that ending was just kind of out of nowhere. The third story, though, really weird. The monsters look like something that the people who did Rock and Roll Nightmare would probably do. A lot of the effects in this movie were pretty bad, but again, the second story is probably the best one that you might watch. The first the first one and the third one seemed like they were trying to be like horror comedy, not taking themselves too seriously, not taking the stories too seriously. But they were still pretty bad. But yeah, the second one, probably my favorite, and it was a very strange ending. And it was really one I was very intrigued by, and it just had me watching the whole time, wondering like, how's this going to end? What's going to happen? The whole 9 yards. Sorry, I kind of spoiled it for you, but if you want to check the movie out, it is on the Kings of Horror channel. Yeah, I'm giving them lots and lots of shout-outs and stuff like that. But it's on the Kings of Horror channel if you want to go check it out. Sorry I spoiled it for you. And if you do check it out and you want to let me know your own personal opinion, please do. Feel free to. But yeah, again, who knows? You guys might like all three stories, or two of them, or one of them. But the second one, very interesting, very well done story. But yeah, I don't get a chance to review anthology horror movies very often, and there aren't that many that I can sit here and say, it's like I like one or two of the stories. But in this case, yeah, I don't know why on earth they didn't try and make all three of them be sort of silly, weird, crazy, and not taken seriously horror comedy movies, but it is what it is, folks. Not that great special effects. The gore was all right, but yeah. But there you guys have it, a review of Dead on Appraisal. If you like my videos, feel free to subscribe. If you have a horror, sci-fi horror, comedy horror, or fantasy horror movie that seemed to have a title that you weren't quite sure what you were getting yourself into, it seemed different, and just judging by the title, you sat there and went, made no sense, or something like that, send it my way and I'll get on it ASAP. Thank you guys so very, very much for watching, and until next time, as always, stay strong and rock on.